I'm Fred Zaspel. There's not a lot to tell. I'm a pastor in Eastern Pennsylvania, in the Philadelphia area, Reformed Baptist Church in Franconia. I have a wonderful congregation there. I'm also editor of Books at a Glance, a ministry that we summarize and review books and try to keep people abreast of new theological and biblical literature that's available. I'm married. I have one son. We had a daughter, but she's passed. But my son and his family are nearby, and we have wonderful fellowship with them. I'm also sometimes adjunct professor of systematic theology at Southern Baptist Theological Seminary in Louisville. Wear a few hats, keep busy, and that's about it. Yeah, well, it began actually as a suggestion on my part. I emailed D.A. Carson and with some suggestions of how we could get more biblical and theological articles. And the idea was to provide good, solid theology on a popular level that was accessible to the layman, but yet well-informed, and covering the entire swath of systematic theology. I then began the work of contacting theologians around the country and around the world, several outside of the United States, but most of them here, and going to work. And then over the next year or so, I collected those essays and then passed them on to others at the Gospel Coalition to post on the website. And the hope, of course, was to put it on all the Gospel Coalition sister websites around the world, so I end up with 7 or 8 different languages of it. This one's going to be published in book form, but it's going to be a big book. Yeah, I wouldn't be so bold as to say ours is better, but it is different in a way, and that is that, well, in one respect, I was able to contact largely theologians who had already published on the specific subjects that they wrote these essays on. So they'd already done lots and lots of their research and thinking on it for some time before we asked them to do this. And so with each section, we tried to assign specialists in those areas. Also, with it being individual essays, could probably cover a little more than a lot of systematic theologies are able to do because of space restraints. In each category of systematic theology, we were able to assign various subheadings and pursue as many of those as we felt were needful, some with some particular contemporary application and things like that. In eschatology, for example, we tried to cover what has become a rather contemporary discussion, and that is the subject of preterism. Has all prophecy already been fulfilled? And so I have an essay on that. But we were able to pinpoint specific issues like that along a broad spectrum of subjects within systematic theology. Was our objective in this as well. We wanted it to be available online for that purpose, and now in book form, the same. I suppose there are a few different ways you could use it in a church setting. One, encourage people to buy the book and take some time reading it, maybe corporately schedule a reading schedule through the book together, maybe meeting at times to discuss what has been read. Say an adult Sunday school teacher might take these essays and use them for a series of lessons, even if he didn't use all of them. It'd be a corporate meeting, it'd be small group meetings, individual, or some mixture of the above. We're hoping it'll be used in that way. It would be a wonderful thing for any local congregation if they did. Well, I always tell people, if you would pray for me, it's the best thing in the world you can do. If you would, just 2 areas. One, the church where I serve, Reformed Baptist Church in Franconia. We have a wonderful congregation. God has blessed us in some wonderful ways. I pray that God would preserve that, and that God will bless the ministry and extend our outreach for Christ, and enrich our fellowship with one another in every way, and protect us from sin and division and all of that. And the other area is just pray for my family. I would appreciate that. My son and his family, my wife, pray that God will protect us and use us well in his service.